So let's factor these ones. These ones are going to be dealing with some negatives this time around. So first off, multiply the first and the third terms together. So you have 6 times a negative 3. That's going to give you a negative 18. So the question is, what will add to give you a positive 17, but multiplies to give you a negative 18? Well, obviously you're going to need a positive and a negative number, and considering that this is positive, the bigger number better be positive as well. So let's take a look. What multiplies to give you 18? 1 times 18, obviously is going to be 18. You've got 2 times 9. You've got 3 times 6. What combination will give you a negative or a positive 17? Obviously, the bigger number is going to have to be the positive one. So if these are smaller, let's say this is negative 1 times 18, negative 2 times 9, and negative 3 times 6. Well, this will give you negative 18 when you multiply it. If you add it together, it gives you positive 17. So this is what we want. So breaking this apart, you have 6x squared plus 18x minus 1x minus 3. Group these. In the first one, you can take out a 6 and an x. So what you're left with in the brackets is x plus 3. In the next one, you've got negative 1x minus 3. Well, you can take out that negative 1. So what you're left with in this case is going to be x, and negative 3 divided by negative 1, that's going to be a positive 3. Now that we've got this all sorted, well, this is what was in common with both of those. So take that out. That's going to be x plus 3. And in brackets, you have your leftovers. And that's going to be 6x minus 1. If you need to, double check your work by foiling these out to see if you get the original answer. We have 3x squared minus 2x minus 8. We want to multiply the first and the third terms together, so it's going to be 3 times a negative 8, which is going to be negative 24. Alright, so what we need to do is figure out what adds to give you a negative 2, but multiplies to give you negative 24. Since this is a negative 2, we should note that the bigger number should be negative in order for that to work. Let's take a look at our options. We know that 1 times 24 is going to be 24. We know that 2 times 12 is 3 times 8, 4 times 6. If this is negative 2, that means the bigger number better be negative as well. So negative 24, negative 12, negative 8, and negative 6. Well, if we add 1 and 24 together, that won't work. If we add 2 and negative 12, that's not negative 2. If you add 3 and negative 8, that's going to be a negative 5, so that won't work. But we've got 4 and negative 6. If you add those two together, you do get a negative 2. So this one is your correct one. So you've got 3x squared and plus 4x minus 6x minus 8. Put the first two in brackets, put the last two in brackets. The first bracket, what you can take out is an x, so that's going to be left with 3x plus 4. In the next bracket, it looks like you got a negative 6 and a negative 8. Well, you can take out a negative 2 out of both, which leaves you with 3x plus 4, same as what we had before. This is what we have in common, so take that out. That's going to be 3x plus 4, and that's going to be an x minus 2. Next up, we've got 12t squared minus 8t plus 1. Multiply the first and the third terms together, so it's going to be 12 times 1, which is going to be 12. Now, noting this is a positive 1, and this is a positive 12, which means we ended up with a positive answer. However, we have a negative middle part. In order for that to work, you're going to have a negative times a negative, because that equals a positive. But if you add two negatives together, that should be a negative answer. That's how it's going to work here. So 12 times 1 is equal to 12. Let's take a look at our options. We've got 1 times 12, just like before. We have 2 times 6, and we've got 3 times 4. These are all going to be negatives. And which ones are going to add up to 8? Well, negative 1 plus negative 12, definitely not 8. Negative 2 plus a negative 6, that's a negative 8. So that's probably your option right there. Let's expand this out. So you have 12t squared minus 2t minus 6t plus 1. Divide this into groups. So what you can take out of the first one is a 2t. What you're left with is 6t minus 1. And this one right here, if you notice, our goal is to get something similar to this. In order to turn this into that, you're going to have to take out a negative 1. So you got 6t, and 1 divided by negative 1 is going to be negative 1. Okay, so now that we have those in common, you have 6t minus 1, and you have your leftovers in the other bracket. So that's going to be 2t minus 1.